Well, you know, we must be talking about New Jersey. Anytime we start a segment with Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi, we're talking about New Jersey. And we are. Months ago, I started, and Bernie, both of us, became very, very big fans of this guy. In fact, I reached out to him on Twitter, and I got a return message from Nick because this guy's way too big to be answering
he's very
messages.
busy. Very busy.
Right, very busy. He's
got a big task ahead of him.
He does, running against the guy that put the C in corruption. A bad guy. He's a bad guy, Menendez. The guy to our left, on the other hand, is a war hero. Yes, you are.
No, he's a veteran.
That makes you a hero.
He was an active duty infantry officer for 7 years in the United States Marine Corps. How about that?
Hero. And we want you to win the great Bob Eugen live in studio right now with Bernie and Sid in the morning.
I am so glad to be with you. No, Bernie, I have to tell you, you guys said you have so many listeners in New Jersey. The last time I was on the show, the feedback I got everywhere I go, oh, you on with Bernie and Sid, Bernie. There was only one complaint. There was a little bit of concern that they raised about my last visit here. They said
I wasn't here. Was that it?
A little bit. They said, how much vacation is freaking Bernie taking? Sid taking. They're saying this guy's taking a lot of vacation.
That's funny. That's the one day I had off.
Yeah.
Just one day. But no, it's okay. But we're all together now.
Yeah,
that's what counts.
Yeah.
You were great.
I appreciate you having me back.
But you talk about all your fans in New Jersey. I have a ton of relatives that live Morganville, Manalapan, all my cousins. Here's what happens, Bob and Bernie. They lived in Brooklyn. They made some money. They moved to New Jersey. And when I had mentioned on the air that you were coming on with Bernie and with us, my cousin Shannon, who happens to be Norman Coleman's sister.
Wow.
I'm going to St. Paul tomorrow night for Norman Coleman's son's wedding.
Right.
So my cousin Shannon reached out and said, my sister Margie, also my first cousin, we share the same birthday, April the 19th, is actually going to have Bob Eugen in her backyard.
Yeah.
So you're at my cousin's backyard.
Well, she married a guy from Union City that I grew up. My sister grew up. My sister was there, so they moved from Union City. The whole Rubinaccio family was there.
Yeah, Robbie.
What a great event. And it was really inspirational to hear what can be done.
That's pretty cool, though. Actually, my cousin's backyard.
That is very cool. Speaking of Union City, of course, as you mentioned, that's where you grew up, Bob Eugen. You grew up pretty much a blue-collar background and made your way to Princeton University, the first person in your family to go to a college, actually. But then Princeton University, and after Princeton University, you decided to join the Marine Corps and, perform your service for your country.
Listen, I'm one of the luckiest people in the world, right? I grew up in Union City, first in my family to go to college. And thank God I got a full scholarship. My parents couldn't afford to pay for me to go to college. And they didn't have to pay anything. I was completely on a full ride, and it opened the world to me. But even then, I knew that I should pay back and I should just do something bigger than myself. And that's why I joined the Marine Corps, and it was one of the great decisions of my life.
I mean, that's amazing, though. After Princeton, people usually go, I'm going to make some money. He joins the United States Marine Corps. And the infantry above, that's no cakewalk.
No.
Being in the infantry, that's putting your life on the line if something happens, of course.
The things I learned in the Marine Corps have changed my life in terms of your character, your values, integrity, and honor, and ensure that you live your life with that set of values. But also, I have to tell you, the thing that has been most impactful in my life is the idea of selfless leadership, that you have a common mission, you want to focus on getting that objective achieved, but the best way to achieve that is by helping others be successful. The more you help others be successful, the higher probability you have of achieving that goal, and the higher probability you have of being successful yourself. And
right.
It's the right way to lead.
Candidate Bob Eugen running in New Jersey against Menendez coming up here very, very soon. So for me at least, when I came to notice you, I saw your commercial. Now I'm exactly, and so was Bernie, by the way, in step with you politically. I tend to be more conservative when it comes to the economy, when it comes to war. But when it comes to social issues, I'm very liberal, very. All for gay marriage, pro-choice, all those things. So when I saw your commercial on TV, I keep asking, can we get more politicians that are somewhere closer to the middle, that share both Republican and Democratic views? And I see this commercial, I go, oh, my God, there's a guy out there that actually does that.
Yeah, I think, the whole country, we're too partisan. You look at this whole Kavanaugh hearings, I hope it's the low point in our society that says people are putting party and politics ahead of people and not doing the right thing. So I'm hopeful this is the low point, because we need people who are going to focus on getting things done. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And let us contrast. You're a man of integrity, clearly Clearly, Bob Hugin. As a matter of fact, I believe you have 2 sons in the Marine Corps right now as we speak.
Yep, both are infantry officers also in the Marine Corps.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Great guys.
So contrast you with your opposition, the guy you're running against, is Senator Bob Menendez, who was as corrupt as they come. He was prosecuted by the Obama administration Justice Department, and by the skin of his teeth, he was acquitted. But his partner...
Well, hung jury.
Hung jury. Okay, that's right. Pardon me, I stand corrected. His partner is doing 17 years in prison.
67 felony convictions for defrauding Medicare.
Defrauding old people. And that's what Bob Menendez was doing with his partner. But he got somehow or other, he got off the hook. And
the Senate Ethics Committee bipartisanly said he violated federal law, abused the power of his office, and disgraced the Senate. I have to tell you, Bernie said, the thing that most recently symbolizes this whole race is I was down at Fort Monmouth. Here's a place that was closed 7 years ago and has not yet been really redeveloped the way that it can be for New Jersey. New Jersey lost $3 billion of economic activity, went to Maryland. And the savings haven't materialized for us as federal taxpayers, which was a little bit disturbing. Supposedly, the government was going to save a lot of money. The savings didn't materialize. And I talked about holding people accountable for that happening in New Jersey. What does Senator Menendez say? It wasn't my fault. I wasn't the senator. It was Senator Lautenberg, Senator Corzine. Buddy, you're a leader. You were in Congress. We've stopped several bases from being closed in New Jersey. What were you doing there? You got to be accountable. Leaders seek the problems to solve them for the people, not make excuses and blame other people. That was just disgraceful. It's so symbolic of his campaign. Attacking others, not telling what I've done in 25 years for the people of New Jersey.
You talk about attacking others, and again, it's candidate Bob Hugin live in studio, the Joseph Abboud VIP guest list. And again, we love you. We're endorsing you. We want you to win. But here's what he's claiming you've done. He claims you've made millions and millions and millions of dollars with the pharmaceutical company, that you, in fact, raised prices for a cancer drug in the United States, in essence, killing people, lowered prices in Russia for the same medicine. So his contention is that you've killed Americans who are suffering from cancer. Yeah. You're helping the Russians, and you've made millions and millions of dollars basically off voters' asses. That's his contention.
Yeah, that's such lies and mischaracterizations. Listen, I went to that company with 6 weeks of cash left, and we helped turn that company around, and today is one of the great stories of America's business and leading the fight against cancer.
In Jersey, too, in your home state.
In New Jersey, thousands of jobs in New Jersey, new high-paying, high-tech jobs. But let's be clear. That company turned several cancers that were terminal diagnosis into chronic disease, and because that company walked the walk, is on the cusp of curing those diseases. 2017, for example, 45% of its revenue back into research to cure cancer. Always almost twice the industry average of investing in research in the future. And let's be clear. Nearly 90% of all patients on Celgene drugs paid $50 or less. The company has always had the most compassionate, generous patient assistance program. It's walk the walk every day of doing the right thing.
When he says you priced out a bunch of people dying from cancer, that's an absolute lie.
It's absolutely incorrect. Okay. It's absolutely not. Let's be clear. Listen, there have been some price increases. The increases in research and development are 7 times that. The company walked the walk, doing the right thing for cancer patients today and investing in the future to cure that deadly, deadly disease.
And again, ask yourself, who do you believe? A man with blue-collar roots who won a scholarship through Princeton and then joined the United States Marine Corps and then was a self-made businessman himself. Who do you believe, him or the guy who tried to defraud old people through Medicare, a sleazebag who imported women from the Dominican Republic and called them, quote-unquote, girlfriends? Yeah, they want to date you, you fat slob. Yeah. I mean, give me a break. I know who I believe.
I believe Hugin, too. Yeah. So when you win here, when you win.
Yep.
You got to clean some things up in New Jersey, let's be honest. I love Jersey. I lived in Tenafly for many, many years. In fact, I would move back to Bergen County tomorrow. That's how much I enjoyed it. But there's some stuff that needs to be done. So day one, Bob Hugin takes office. What are the first 2 or 3 things you have to improve in your state?
Well, the first thing we got to do is even before I take office, when I win, I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I'm going to call on Governor Murphy to bring together all the people elected to Congress and the senators and say, listen, people, fight all you want, but let's agree on 2 or 3 things that everybody that represents New Jersey and Washington should stand for, to say, fight on everything except these 2 or 3 things. Because when you're 50 out of 50, we get the least back from Washington in any state in the country. And I drove here to New York this morning for the show. our situation, infrastructure is a disgrace.
Terrible.
It's embarrassing
Terrible.
how long it takes to get anywhere. The quality of life sucks because of that.
Yep.
We got to make an investment to make sure that Washington does its fair share.
You like Murphy, by the way? You think he's a good...
Listen, I don't really know him.
Okay.
We have very different views on a number of subjects, but I think once the election's over, we should all work together to do what's right for the people of New Jersey. But let's be clear about how bad it is in New Jersey, the unaffordability. It's driving people out. People can't keep families together living in New Jersey. If we were 25th as opposed to 50th, the difference is the equivalent of having 40% or 60% off our property taxes. Ooh. It is so unaffordable, and we're being not served well. We get the short end of the stick every day in Washington. And I'll tell you one more thing. The thing is, I'm on this campaign trail saying, listen, he's corrupt and he's ineffective, and we're 50th out of 50. And you're worried, is that just talk or is that just bull, or are you going to actually be able to do something about it? I have found so many things where we get the short end of the stick in New Jersey. So I'm confident we're going to make a difference when we go there in January.
Yes. Again, in studio with Bernie and Sid, he's candidate Bob Hugin running for New Jersey Senate against the corrupt Senator Bob Menendez. Now, has Senator Bob Menendez, is there any debate talk? Has he agreed to a debate? Is that going to... Can we look forward to that?
There's one debate that's been agreed to on October 24th, but I really think that's inadequate. We should be having debates in South Jersey because South Jersey has really not been fairly treated, even worse than North Jersey in terms from Washington support. Central Jersey, North Jersey, and we should have debate on the radio to make sure all kinds of listeners get a chance to hear the facts and both sides of the story, because when they do, the momentum that we have in this race, which is palpable, we have Democrats endorsing us, such good momentum. When they hear the full story on all the allegations on his side, which are just lies and mischaracterizations, they hear the full story, we're going to kick his butt.
But that's why they don't do it. All these incumbents, whether it's Cuomo and Mark Molinaro for governor of New York, your race with Menendez, the incumbents don't want to do it. They've got nothing to gain. They've already won. God forbid you expose this guy for what he really is, a lying, corrupt piece of garbage. Why would you want to risk that? We'll take a short break. More with Bob Hugin right after these words. See, that's the one decent thing about Bergen County when I lived in Tenafly, because it's exit 1 off the Palisades. So you go one exit, then you get to the GW Bridge, so it's not really an issue. That part of Bergen County to get to New York City. But when you start going towards like where you are, Princeton, Manalapan, those areas, then you're dead meat. Dead.
You can't predict how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. But let me just say this, Sid and Bob Hugin, let me take the time. The Bernie and Sid in the Morning VIP guest list is styled exclusively by the Joseph Abboud Black Label flagship store on 49th and Madison Avenue, a beautiful place. And again, in studio is the candidate for the New Jersey Senate running against the corrupt Senator Bob Menendez, Bob Hugin in studio.
We should get him to the Joseph Abboud store, Bern.
I could use it.
For the October 24th debate. We'll put you on a Joseph Abboud suit. You'll look like $1 million.
That's not a bad idea.
Right? You want to do that?
Hey, I'll take all the help I can get, let me tell you.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We just played, and I did ask you this, so we'll talk more politics, but I like speaking to you about lifestyle because you're fat. I mean, you're relaxed. Off the air, we were talking sports, music, but Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Yeah, you asked me that last time, and I gave you a sort of mealy-mouth country music is my thing. But I have to say I'm slightly more Bon Jovi than Springsteen.
All right.
I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but slightly more. But it's country music.
It's very subjective. It's not right or wrong, but it is idiotic, just so you know.
I can understand.
Yeah, beyond stupid.
I can understand.
You're comparing like a really good center fielder to a Hall of Famer, and Bon Jovi is the good center fielder, and Bruce is a Hall of Famer.
Well, no, there's no doubt about it.
It may be idiotic, but in this room, Springsteen is outvoted 2-1.
In this room, yes.
Right. But you have to remember, Friday night, Lady Antebellum's in New Jersey, so that's they're great. We had a big campaign thing at the Kenny Chesney concert at MetLife. What a great night! Even though with the rain delay that night, we had such a fabulous time there.
Well, listen, between MetLife, where is
PNC? You got Camden. You got they've been a couple times in New Jersey.
And I tell you where they built it up tremendously. Where I'll be next week for Christina Aguilera, and they've got Janet Jackson in 2 weeks, and that's the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Atlantic City, I know it's way south of you, but
we're on the whole state. Let me tell you.
Oh,
Sid.
I know. Okay, so it's gorgeous, and they've done an amazing job. And the Hard Rock, especially, Bob, bringing the best acts in the country. They're doing better than Vegas.
We
here in
talked
New
about
Jersey.
we talked about with Bernie. I was there when it opened that morning.
You were?
Yeah.
We were there. We didn't.
You guys are up front. You were in the hallway there.
We actually-
Yes.
I walked right by you guys, and I was there.
That's
for
terrible
the
that
opening.
we didn't know that. We should have had you on. I mean, we actually, Sid and I smashed the guitars with all the big VIPs,
Yeah.
with Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, Atlantic City's doing better today than it did 5 years ago, but it needs more diversification of that economy. The casinos are great. The entertainment's got to be improved. Hard Rock's making a difference in that regard, but
Right.
we need to get more diversification of that economy because you go to other places around the coast. You go to like Ocean City, Maryland. There's so much more diversity in the economy. We can do better for New Jersey, get focused, bring people together, and solve those issues. Got a lot of good people in South Jersey trying to do it, but we can even do better.
The gambling thing, I know that people were telling me week 1, Giants, Jacksonville, they like to show up early and tailgate. They could not get into the parking lot because folks were betting football legally at the Meadowlands. And I know Monmouth, the first week of the NFL season, they basically had to call the cops for crowd control.
It was unbelievable. I heard so many people in Monmouth that went there could not get bets on the 1 o'clock game.
They missed.
They were online starting at like 12:20, and they couldn't before 1 o'clock get the bets done. That's how much interest there is in it. It's great for the Jets, great for the Giants, it's great for sports. I'm a big Devils fan. We got to get them going this year again. But I
You've
think
won
it's
3
good.
Stanley Cups. You're good.
Yeah, no, good. That's good.
And I believe Senator Bob Menendez has a misleading health care commercial out right now, and the health care is important on everybody's minds. People in New Jersey. Tell us about that, Bob.
Yeah, you know, Bernie, I've spent 20 years in biotech and then 11 years on the board of a very forward-looking healthcare system in New Jersey, Atlantic Health, really focused on really transforming the healthcare delivered in America. It's unfortunate in these political campaigns we don't get into really the kind of substantive issues we should. Healthcare is such an important part of our economy, and it's such an important part of everybody's life. And our healthcare system was designed 70 years ago for a culture that doesn't exist anymore, an economy that doesn't exist anymore. And the truth be told, Democrats and Republicans agree about 75 to 80% of the things that need to be done to transform the delivery of health care. It's a disgrace that we're not taking action to make it happen. And so one of the things I'm committed to is to make sure in January when I go there, we've got to do things, and there's some simple solutions we need to do. First of all, we've not let information technology transform the way we deliver health care for better outcomes at lower cost. We have to change the way we pay for things, including pharmaceuticals. We have to pay for results and performance and outcomes, not pay for activity and usage. There's so many things we can do that could have been done over the last 10 or 20 years, but we haven't had the courage to do it. But again, Democrats and Republicans agree about 80% of the things. Let's get that 80% done. Let's fight about the other 20%. But they hold hostage the whole 80% because they want to get 100% of what they want. We got to change that. It's about time we start working for people as opposed to the partisan politics.
A little compromise. That's right. So then with that said, you saying that New Jersey gets the least amount of money from the federal government, that you've got all these issues, and there is obviously all that, the issue with people not getting along on both sides of the aisle in Washington. What is your relationship like, if one even exists, with President Donald Trump? Or how do you feel about him?
Yeah, I think the thing that I have to do for now until November 6th is make sure that people in New Jersey know this race is about Bob Hugin versus Bob Menendez. And I'm going to work with anybody, Democrat or Republican, that wants to do good things for New Jersey. And that's because New Jersey's been so underserved. And I'm going to stand up against anybody who does anything that's not good for New Jersey. There are so many good things going on in the country, so many good initiatives. Look at the economy, 4.2% GDP. I was in Israel a couple of months ago. The fact that the president is doing what he said, moved the embassy, that Iran nuclear deal was a disgrace. It was a disgrace 5 years ago. It's a disgrace today. You fly up around the border of Lebanon and into the Golan Heights. You can see where the Iranians are trying to build a permanent military presence in Syria. That's unacceptable for Israel. It should be unacceptable for America. You look at the West Bank. There's so many things that need to be done to improve the economic opportunity there. So the president's doing a lot of good things, but there are a lot of things I don't agree with him either. I don't agree with the $10,000 cap on state and local taxes. It's bad for New Jersey. It's bad for New Jersey. And I can tell you how many different reasons it's bad for New Jersey. It's bad for the middle class in New Jersey because high-end housing prices are coming down. More of the property tax burden is going to be on the middle class. I'm a fisherman. I'm an outdoors guy. I don't believe in offshore drilling off the coast of New Jersey. We've got a lot of other solutions to our energy issues that we can do with conservation being preserved. The economy is the environment is the greatest treasure we leave for our kids and our grandkids. So I'm going to stand up against anybody who doesn't do what we need to be done for New Jersey, and I'm going to support anybody, Democrat, Republican, that's going to help the people of New Jersey. There's just one other thing you should know. I am not filling out any special interest questionnaire. Nobody.
None.
And I'm basically, my wife and I are basically funding this campaign for the most part ourselves. So when I go there, I'm not going to be beholden to any political organization. Nobody made me a councilman, a mayor, the assemblyman, a state senator. Now I owe you because we made you as a candidate. Or some special interest said, we funded your campaign, you owe us this. I'm not filling out one special interest questionnaire because when I go to Washington, my only objective is and responsibility is going to be to represent the people of New Jersey, all of the people of New Jersey.
Yes.
I'm going to Newark. I go everywhere.
Listen, hard scrabble, blue collar upbringing. He put himself, he got a scholarship through Princeton, did Bob Hugen. Then 7 years as a Marine Corps infantry officer and a self-made businessman for a pharmaceutical company that created drugs that cured some cancers, believe it or not. And he's running for Senate against Bob Menendez, the corrupt Bob Menendez. And in the waning minutes that we have left, Bob, if you don't mind, let's talk a little sports. The Giants and the Jets both play out in MetLife, and which team do you follow?
I grew up as
I don't want to polarize.
I grew up as a Jets fan, but I can tell you, I am my kids are all Jets fans, but I'm Jets and Giants. Though the Giants' offensive line, that's a big problem.
Brutal.
If they don't get that solved, it's going to be a long season. I was a little disappointed with the Jets' second game. They looked so great on Monday Night Football. I'm thinking to myself, I was a little bit more cautious about how Darnold would do Sam would do in the first game.
Yeah.
And the first pass in his pick six was unbelievable. I thought, oh my God, this guy's going to be devastated. He came back, was incredibly resilient. What a great game against the Lions. I was disappointed on Sunday. I'm thinking to myself, home game. You got to.
Dolphins are tough. I think tonight's a very tough test. I mean, I know Cleveland's only won one of the last 37 games, but the Browns are actually favored over the Jets tonight because I seen them play Pittsburgh and New Orleans. They're tough, so he may take another step backwards.
Yeah.
He may.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
He's still a rookie. He's not. He's not Joe Namath.
How old is he? I mean, he's like
20.
He's 21.
He's a baby. He's a baby.
So, but it's.
Do you want to change? Are you mad that the Jets and Giants play in your state? You're about to win a major and they're not called the New Jersey Jets.
Yeah, I have to tell you, it's great that I'm on this radio show, but you feel when you live in New Jersey, one of the reasons we have a little bit of an edge of being from New Jersey is because you do feel like you're a little bit you're the stepchild in the family when you look at New York TV and New York radio and Philadelphia TV and Philadelphia radio. So. Right. That's one of the reasons we have an edge in New Jersey, and so listen. I guess I've come used to it, but it is. Maybe we should charge them a little higher taxes. If you want to change your name to New Jersey, we'll give you a tax break, or give you equal pay with equal tax to New Jersey companies. But if you want to use the name New York, maybe we should pay a little bit more money.
Brilliant answer. Listen, folks, if you want to send integrity down to Washington, send in the Marines. Send in Bob Hugen. He's running against the corrupt Senator Bob Menendez. And your vote matters in November. Mr. Hugen, it was a pleasure and an honor to have you in studio on the Bernie and Sid Show.
Hey, Bernie, Sid, thanks so much for having me. Getting out the vote is it. November 6th. We'll win if we get the vote out. It's critical we get it out. So thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Good luck. That's our guy, Bob Hugen. We'll take a short break. More of Bernie and Sid in the morning on a Thursday. Right after these words. Way to go, Bob.
I can't fight it anymore. And